Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling.
Yo.
You ain't talking money.
What up, what up, what up, what up? I'm chilling, man. I couldn't do episode 2 last night, so I decided to do it this afternoon. Get caught up with the weekly episodic podcast, Shattered Sanity. Welcome. Thank you for dropping in. I got a cat crawling all over this PC right now. Okay, she jumped off. Yeah, man, definitely excited. I wanted to be able to do this yesterday, and I couldn't. So I'm here today, ready to do it, ready to talk, ready to hit some nice topics. Today's topic is going to be about anger and understanding what anger is, what anger means, what you can do about it, etc., etc. It's more than just breathing in and breathing out. There's a lot more that goes into it because just like every emotion that we as human beings feel, it's complicated. It's complex. It's a lot more advanced than what we think. Don't do that. This cat's probably got the zoomies, man. I'm just trying to eat some cardboard. Don't do that. You're gonna be throwing up all over the carpet. I don't got no carpet cleaner. But yeah, man. I've had an interesting week from my last podcast up until now. So Saturday, I went to New Jersey. I had to go work a wrestling event over there. It was the 17th anniversary of New Age Wrestling, and let me tell you, man, it was awesome. It was great. It was incredible. Like, I definitely had a great time out there. I was doing commentary. The matches was, oh man, it was so great calling those matches. The excitement, the intensity, just everything behind it. I got the opportunity to interview one of the wrestlers, and I was in Ridgefield Park. I had to go to it was over at a place called the Mecca is the venue. It's owned by the Knights of Columbus. It was a nice little venue, man. It's nice. Like, their ring is I like their ring. Their ring is really good. The people there are just incredible, man. Like, I absolutely love being out there. And it was a great show, man. Not too many people turned up, but they were still excited. They were still invested in the show and everything like that. And like I said, I got to work alongside the Millennium Dragon, Chris Taylor. Hey, what's up, sweet niece? What's up? How you doing? Yeah, man, it was actually fun. Thank you for dropping in, ladies and gentlemen. This is, I guess, my cousin-in-law. I guess I can call you. Incredible human being, incredible craftsperson, makes so many beautiful creations. She does them all by hand. She does it herself from the comfort of her own home. And I can promise you she does better work than you would see from a fucking factory. Like, that's just that's what I feel about it. That is my opinion, and I'm sure there are many people that agree with me. I'm not just saying that because she's family. I'm saying that because she's really good at what she does. Um but yeah, man, like, I had a blast. A lot of things happened during the show, which I'm gonna talk about, not on the podcast, but I'm gonna be shooting some videos and putting them up on Facebook. If you are not yet following my Facebook page, I have a creator page. It is Chris Kylar. So the Kylar is spelled the same way it is here on Twitch. So it's Chris Kylar, space in quotation marks, unbroken. That is how you find me. That is my like page on Facebook. I'm going to be posting more and more videos on there. I'm going to be, sharing my podcast on there as well. And that's where I'm going to be posting a lot of the videos, especially the stuff that I'm doing with New Age Wrestling. I'm going to be a lot more active. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos and talking things up and keeping you guys informed with all the news that is going on with New Age Wrestling, all the rivalries, the storylines, everything. I'm going to be posting it on that like page. And also be sure to like New Age Wrestling _USA, because they're going to be sharing a lot of stuff on there as well. And those videos, that I share on my page will more than likely end up on that page as well. So if you guys want to show support, please feel free to do all that and continue on with that. Um, Give me 1 second. Um, I'll call him back later. Because I'm live right now on my podcast, so I'm not gonna answer that call right now. But yeah, man, like I got a bigger role with New Age Wrestling now, so I'm gonna be doing a lot of that. I'm still gonna be doing my podcasts every week. Every week, you guys can count on it. I'm gonna have a different topic to discuss. I'm gonna be doing all of that. When it comes to my podcast, I'm going to be increasing my the frequency of my normal streams. Lately I've been playing a lot of Star Wars. You guys are going to be seeing me playing a lot of Phasmophobia now as well, probably a little bit of Madden. And I am looking to be getting back in to Fortnite as well. So be on the lookout for that definitely. Because I'll be doing that as well. I don't have a set schedule yet, but as soon as I do, you guys will know. Um Also enjoyed WrestleMania, all that, but I had actually wound up getting hurt on Tuesday at work. I hurt my back, so I'm restricted on lifting anything heavy and blah blah blah. But my back feels better now, but I went ahead and I got that extended for a week, so got myself a little week off of work just to allow myself enough time to just recover, especially since I'm doing a show tomorrow in Washington, D.C. Anybody that'll be in the area, stay tuned. Feel free to come by, purchase your tickets. It's going to be a full-blown lucha show. It's going to be great. So now, getting on to the topic of Shattered Sanity, of this episode of Shattered Sanity, we're going to be talking about anger. The reason why I chose this topic is because it's a topic that I've struggled with for 90% of the 30 years that I've been alive. If you don't believe me, you can ask Sweet Niece's husband, Sifu Brooklyn, and he would tell you even as a baby, I was throwing tantrums, all this other stuff. Like, anger has been something I struggled with for a very long time. I have been learning different tricks, different things, and different understandings of anger that they are helping. Obviously, it takes some time to master, but they are helping. And I just want to share that information with you guys as well. Maybe it helps you guys better than it's helped me, because it is helpful. Like I said, it's just, I've been like this for so long. It's a process. It's definitely a process for me to be able to fully break that cycle, break that pattern, and literally apply everything that I've learned. But they say sometimes the best way to learn something is to teach it. So I'm going to be sharing the information that I've learned with you guys in the hopes that, two brains are better than one, right? Well, what's more than two? That's got to be even better, right? So first and foremost, one of the things that I've learned is, just like any other emotion, just like sadness, just like happiness, confusion, shame, embarrassment, love, anger is also a naturally occurring emotion within the human body. We all experience it and comes in many different levels. It's very complex, but oftentimes hard to understand, hard to comprehend and learn how to maneuver with all these different things, right? So the main thing right now, like to get us started, that I want people to understand is that anger is naturally occurring. It's normal to get angry. But the thing is, oftentimes, when we get angry, because of the fact that we're angry and it's an emotion that's very powerful, oftentimes we don't want to feel that emotion. Oftentimes, we get angry at the fact that we even got angry. It amplifies and it causes us to abandon our faculties. It causes us to abandon our sanity, if you will. And we act on accordingly sometimes. We act on becoming sometimes. And we're just a completely different person because we choose to embody that emotion. So at that particular moment, we're not ourselves, we are that emotion. So a lot of questions would be like, well, what do I do then? Right? Well, the first thing you can do that's very helpful, and I've learned for it to be very helpful, is to pause. Literally pause. Before doing anything else, before even saying anything, just take a pause. Just take a moment and just process everything. Literally, just like, okay, I felt it rise. Let me pause. All right, what's going on? I'm angry. Okay, why am I angry? What happened? Right? So now we ask ourselves, what is it that happened? And then we go, okay, am I angry because that happened? Or am I angry because of what I'm thinking about what happened? Because oftentimes, especially, I've seen it more common in us men. Again, I'm not saying that women don't go through it. It's just I'm talking off of, hello, Amethyst Priestess. I'm talking off of just what I've been able to observe. And over the years, I've been around a lot more men than women. So that's just the angle that I'm coming from, just based off of my own observation. It happens very common in men where we're taught that all these other feelings we're not supposed to feel. So when we feel those feelings, we get angry about it. Because we're not supposed to be feeling shame. We're not supposed to be feeling embarrassment. We're not supposed to be feeling confusion. I'm a man. I'm not supposed to feel that. So now I'm angry. What's even crazier is that oftentimes a lot of those emotions, even sadness, we express it as anger. We're not actually angry. We're sad. But we express it as anger because for so long, that's the only emotion other than happiness that we've been allowed to feel and allowed to express. And what we don't realize is that not only have we been expressing it the wrong way the entire time, the expression of anger has many different forms, and you don't always have to punch a wall or yell at the top of your lungs or punch somebody in the face or like huff and puff. Like, no. Take that pause, take that moment, and take inventory of yourself. What happened? What just happened? How do I actually feel? Do I actually feel angry, or am I feeling something else? Is this something else embarrassment maybe? I'm embarrassed. I got embarrassed. Is it... I was about to say that. Men are socialized to only feel happy or angry, so when any other emotions are introduced, they're manifested as anger. Exactly. Because it's the only thing we understand. It's what feels natural. And the thing is, the course of life works like this. The course of life follows the path of least resistance, right? That means it's going to go with what's familiar. Because if it's something new, there's going to be some friction there. There's going to be some resistance there because your body's not used to that. Your body's not accustomed to it. So it feels resistant to it. So it's going to go with what it knows because it's not as resistant to it because it's familiar. So anger is something that is very, very, very familiar, especially to us men. So the inventory is very important. After the pause. I'm not going to say or do anything. I'm going to pause for a moment and process the situation that just happened. I had to teach that the anger felt when I'm gone isn't anger, but rather missing me. Yes, exactly. It's usually something else that we're feeling that we interpret as anger. So it's like, how do I actually feel about what happened? This happened. Am I actually angry or am I sad? Am I embarrassed? Was my pride hurt? Do I feel confused by it? Am I confused by the situation and actually don't understand what it is that just happened? And that's what I'm feeling. You know what I'm saying? Did it make me sad? Did it trigger a memory that impacts my heart in a certain way? And that's why I got angry. Once you figure that out, then you go, okay, is anger justified in this situation? Because oftentimes we get angry about things and it could be because we misinterpreted something. It could be because somebody said something and we took it as they were coming at us, or we took it as they were belittling us, or we took it as they were looking down upon us, and that was never the case at all. So now it's like, okay, so it triggered this thought. Sometimes the best way to go about that is to go, hold on. So when you said this, is this what you meant? is this what you were intending, or was it something else? Because I think I might be reading into this wrong. And then you give them the opportunity to reiterate their words and tell you what they actually meant, how they actually felt. Now, if they actually did mean to offend you, if they actually did mean to put you down, now you got to go, okay, what's the correct response to this? You know, because sometimes people would do things in order to get a rise out of us, in order to justify whatever narrative they're trying to push about us. Now, my question would be, do you want to feed into their narrative? Or do you want to maintain the power that you possess, which means the power of defining yourself? Because that is a power we all possess about ourselves. God, dog, my little sheet fell down. Don't worry. I'm slowly going to acquire better stuff to make this a lot more professional, a lot more alluring. But for the time being, this is what I got. For the time being, this is all I can do. So I do apologize. But we're growing. These are humble beginnings, and you guys are going to witness the growth and evolution of Shattered Sanity. But, you know, thank you. Thank you for the heads up. I'm really not paying attention to my phone right now because I'm doing my podcast. Screw professional, team real. Man, I try to keep it as real as I can, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, as I progress and I start making a little extra change that I can invest into this podcast, I'm going to, because of the fact that I believe in the mission of this podcast. I believe in what I am attempting to do with this podcast, which is to reach people with information that they never knew before. Because a lot of the times, things we go through, reactions, etc., is because we never thought about it like that before. That was never told to us before. We were never told that there was another approach to something. I thought this was the only approach. I was just giving you a heads up that, okay, no, that's fine. Like, I'm just doing a podcast. It's not gonna be that long. But like I was saying, our power is being able to define ourselves. And unfortunately, the world has a lot of people that are messy. They're very messy. They want to incite you because they have their own narrative. When I was in Louisiana, people will call that building a case. They build a case on you, and now they have to provide the evidence of this case that they built on you. So they'll go ahead and push buttons to try to find what way they can get you to react in the way that fits the case that they built on you. But the power is in your hands. It always has been, and it always will be in your hands to either give them that or take it away from them entirely. Think about your anger or your emotions like this. Everybody here, I'm pretty certain, because this is Twitch, I'm pretty sure everybody here knows who Iron Man is. Everybody knows. Well, anybody who knows Iron Man, they understand something happened to Tony Stark in that explosion that caused an issue in his heart. So he went ahead and created this device that goes in his chest. And that is the source of his life, the source of his power. Your emotions, your ability to define yourself, your self-control, that's what that is to you. And when we allow someone else's actions and not our own, to rile us up, to take our eyes off of the ball, we literally took that and gave it to that individual and gave them the power over what happens to us. And I'm sorry, but nobody deserves to have that power over you. Nobody does. Personally, many would argue the only person who has the power to do that is God, and God doesn't even do that. God doesn't even do that. He lets us be our own people and to define ourselves however we see fit. So we can't just let somebody else go around because they're building a case and we allow them to trigger us So now we're fitting their narrative. But now, let's say that that's not the person you're dealing with. You're dealing with somebody who wasn't intending to offend you, but they wound up doing it anyways. You don't want to assume malicious intent in every situation. Because at the end of the day, we're all individuals. We all got our own things going on in our heads, in our lives, in our homes, at our jobs, in our schools, in our relationships, with our families. We all got a lot of stuff going on. And more often than not, certain situations where there's an exchange and it's hostile or it's aggravating or it's escalated, more often than not, it's not even about you. I learned that from working customer service. I've worked customer service for so long. And I can tell you, more often than not, it's not about you. Their frustration is not aimed at you specifically. You're just the person that they're talking to at the moment. You're just the person they're interacting with at the moment. But they're upset about something else. For all we know, that situation that happened could have been the straw that broke the camel's back in what they got going on. And now all of a sudden, we're going to allow what's going on in their lives and how it affected them to start to affect us. And we can't do that. We can't do that. Can you imagine living your life, allowing everything around you to have an effect on you? It does, though, with all of us, even me. Because, like I said on my last episode, influence is very, very contagious, and it's very easy to fall with. It's very easy to fall into. Whatever you're around, it starts to get familiar because you're constantly seeing it. It starts to feel like a norm. And so your subconscious mind loves to record shit. That's his job. It's like that peeping Tom at your window whenever you go to take a shower with his video camera already ready. That's what your subconscious mind does. Everything that you do, everything that is going on, your subliminal mind is there just recording. Oh yeah, give me the good stuff. Give me the good stuff. And when it records it, it starts to create patterns. It starts creating patterns within this system that is your brain. And your brain, for those who do not know, your brain is the most advanced supercomputer in existence today. I don't care about those quantum computers that they're building and what they're capable of and all that other stuff. Your brain is capable of much more than that. Your brain is more advanced than that. So, your brain being the advanced supercomputer that it is, it starts to follow the programming that the programmer, aka your subconscious mind, done wrote. Where did the subconscious mind get the information to write this code for your body to follow? Everything that's going on around you. That's where I got it from. And because of that, if there's certain things that happen automatically that we want to change, we have to do that on purpose, because the only thing that can override your subconscious mind is your conscious mind. That is the only thing that can override it. But the problem becomes your conscious mind can only focus on one thing at a time. You want an example? When you first learned how to drive, okay? You sit in a car seat. You got to look at the gear shift to put it in gear. You got to look down at the pedals to see where to put your foot. You got to look at the signal wand for you to turn your signals. You got to look at everything. And this goes on for a little bit. Yo, what up, Bofa? Welcome to Shattered Sanity. I'm so glad that you're here, man, because I'm hitting on some real important stuff. Now, so what I was saying is, over a period of time, you're constantly repeating this attention and awareness to your surroundings. The gear shift, the pedals, the steering wheel, the signal wand. Your subconscious mind, being the little creep that it is, recording everything and writing its information, writing its pattern, writing its code for your mind to follow. After a certain period of time, you automatically do all these things all at once, because that's what the subconscious mind is capable of doing. Registering so many different things all at once. So now you're able to drive without constantly having you just know these things now because of your subconscious mind. That applies to everything. You grow up your entire life in certain situations that make you feel this way, and this is how you react every single time. It is now very difficult as an adult, after so many years of reacting like that to that same exact situation, to that same exact feeling, it becomes very difficult to react any other way because of that pattern, because of the written code in your subconscious mind. So what do? We rewrite it. How do we do that? We get a thought, we take that pause, we intercept that thought. We intercept it. Once we intercept it, we have to identify it. We have to identify the thought. How do you identify it? By observing it. You dissect it. You cut it apart and look at it. Okay, I got angry. Why? Oh, I felt embarrassed because this person called me short. And that's why I got angry, because I felt embarrassed. Okay, they called you short. Are you short? Yeah. Does it change who you are? No. Does it matter? Absolutely not. So if it doesn't matter, I shouldn't be angry. Okay, you embarrassed me. Cool, you got that. Move on. Because we got to think like this. In our happy moments, we are happy. We're smiling ear to ear. We just feel so much bliss, right? But just like a passing cloud, it leaves. It's not there anymore. Happiness faded away. I enjoyed it in the moment, but now it faded away. Guess what? Anger does the same thing. Sadness does the same thing. It's there, you experience it, and then it leaves. So now think about it. Is it really worth causing a longer lasting result that would impact your life over something so temporary that's not going to be around for as long as the consequences of an action or decision that you made? These are questions we need to ask ourselves, because nobody's going to tell us to think about these things. Nobody is going to tell us, like, hey, you can ruin your future. Hey, you can. I mean, they try to, but in that moment, ain't nobody going to say that. We have to say it to ourselves. We got to ask ourselves those questions. Yo, this person just said this, and that to me. Is the situation really worth me punching them in the face and losing my job? Is it worth me beating the snot out of this person and winding up in jail, losing my freedom, costing my family members their hard-earned money because they're putting it on my commissary in order to take care of me, who made a longer lasting decision in a temporary situation? We have to ask ourselves that. I struggle with asking myself that often. I'm getting better at it though, because it takes practice. That is how we rewrite the system. We do things on purpose. I could have punched you in the face, but I purposely chose not to. On purpose. Because I have different intentions for my life. I have a different direction in which I want to take myself. Now, if you come put your hands on me, I'm going to defend myself. But once you're no longer a threat, why do I need to keep hitting you? What statement do I really need to make? You came at me. I stopped you. I don't need to do anything further. I don't need to proceed with that. For what? Oftentimes, a lot of us do things, and here's the kicker. A lot of us, we do things in order to impress other people who could give a rat's ass about us. They only care about us as long as we're dancing to their music and singing along to their songs. As soon as we're not doing that anymore, they don't care about us. They don't. They really don't. So why impact my life in a certain way to impress somebody who doesn't really care about me that much? You know who should care about you that much? You. And oftentimes we don't. I have many moments where I could have and should have cared about myself more. But I cared more about the situation. I cared more about other people's opinion. I cared more about what other people thought. I cared, like, I should have cared more about me. And I'm not talking about in a selfish way. Because the thing is, it's like this. If you want to be able to do for others and be there for others and provide for others, you have to do for yourself. Because if you don't, you won't be in the predicament in which you can do that. And I promise you, anger destroys a lot. It destroys so much. But it doesn't have to. Anger can actually be utilized for something good. What do I mean? Say you're living with your parents and they nag you. They talk down to you. They make you feel stupid. You feel trapped. You feel imprisoned. They treat you like crap and you hate it. You hate it. You don't like how they talk to you. You don't like how they constantly make you do this, this, and that. And let's say they're even taking money from you and you can't even save up so you could get out on your own. Guess what? That anger that you feel, you can take it. You can take that anger. Instead of crashing out and having a big ass fight with your parents or breaking their furniture or doing something else that's even worse, you take that anger. You move it over here. Boom. What is this right here? Where did I just place that anger? My drawing board. What's on my drawing board? My plans for what I want to do and what I need to do for myself. Why is the anger on that drawing board? Because that anger right there is going to be part of my motivation for me to get what's on my drawing board done. Because if I don't get it done, more of this anger is going to be created. And because I'm angry about this situation, I'm going to utilize that anger to motivate me to get laser focus onto the task at hand so I can get the hell out of this situation. That's how you use anger for good. That's how you utilize anger in a good way. You use it as fuel. You use it as motivation. You're in a toxic relationship and you need to get out. But at the moment you can't because you need this. Utilize the anger that you feel, not to fight back and forth with them and drain your own energy, but to focus on getting everything you said you need to get before you leave. Or use the anger itself as motivation to just leave. Just leave. This is what it's doing to me. I gotta get the hell out. I gotta go. Don't hold on to the anger. Use it. Use it as an igniter to light the spark that propels you to bust your ass as hard as you need to get the hell out the situation that got you there. Because if you hold on to anger, it's only going to hurt you. You're not going to hurt the next person. You're not going to hurt the situation that got you angry. You're going to hurt yourself. Remember how I said in the last episode that even though I'm not religious, I quote scripture a lot because I do study scripture from every religion. Well, in the book of Proverbs, because I studied the Bible especially because I wanted to know for myself what was in there. In the book of Proverbs, in the Bible, it literally says, a man who holds on to anger is just like a man who carries hot coals into his bare arms and holds it against his chest with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You're intending to throw all these hot coals at somebody, but you're holding it in your bare hands, which means you're burning the shit out of yourself before you can even burn the person you wanted to burn. You're probably not even going to make it to that person to dump all those coals on them because you done burnt the hell out of yourself and now you just dropped everything on the ground. So everything you just intended to do didn't even come to pass. But what was the result? You hurt the hell out of yourself. That's what anger does. That's what it's capable of. Because we improperly use it. We improperly use anger all the damn time. Because we allow it to be used against us. We even use it against ourselves. When we need to take that anger and utilize it and put it into something productive. Oh, this person keeps talking down to me. You know what? Instead of punching him in his face and winding up in prison, I'm going going to make sure I succeed in everything that I do. Keep talking down on me. Keep talking down on me. I'm going to succeed in everything that I set out to do. And then what do you have? Now you're just going to be a gossiper. Now you're just going to be somebody that's spreading rumors instead of spitting truth. Because whatever's coming out of your mouth only becomes true if I behave in the way in which you are speaking. And trust me, if I let my anger get the best of me, which oftentimes I do, and I've been working on that, and I've been making progress, but I'm still not where I want to be, I end up proving you right. Every single time. Every single time. And then what? I just gave you something to laugh about. Which makes me even more angry because I don't want to be laughed at. But I just gave you something to laugh at. I did that. Because I allowed myself to misuse anger. A lot of people think we're not supposed to feel anger. Why not? It's an emotion. You feel sadness. You feel happiness. You feel triumph. You feel embarrassment. You feel fear. You feel courage. Why can't you feel anger? It's what you do with the anger that matters. You're gonna feel angry. You were uncomfortable with the situation. You were not in agreement with what just happened. So of course you're gonna be angry. But you can still choose what you do. That's the important part. That is the important part. Not only what you do, but why you're doing it. Why? Why did you do what you just did? There was one time, man. I was working in the kitchen, right? I was on kitchen duty. And I had went over to the cook's station to get some gloves for me to wear because I'm serving food. And the gloves that I had in my station, they were the polyethylene gloves, and they I can't grab anything with those, man. I just couldn't. In the cook station, they had the better gloves. You know, that they fit right, and I can grab things and they don't slide and all that other stuff. So I went and I grabbed those. And then the cook is like, man, you got gloves at your station. Why are you over here grabbing my gloves? Blah, 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 blah. So I put the gloves back down. I'm like, you know what? It's whatever, man. And then he goes, what you said? I'm like, I said it's whatever. No, that's not what you said. Blah, blah. This dude's trying to fight me. Now, I grew up in the Bronx, New York. Okay? I went to middle school in the South Bronx. Heavy hitting. Even from a young age. You gotta be heavy hitting, because if not, you're gonna be a punching bag, man. Right? So it's like instantly, the pattern that has been written in my head goes, yo, I gotta fight this dude. Right? I'm like, I gotta fight this dude and I gotta beat him down because he's in my face. He's talking like this. He's being all hot boy with it, etc., etc. I gotta do something. But then another thought came to my head. Let's say we do fight. Obviously, you know, the people in charge are gonna come. They're going to talk to both of us, and they're going to ask us the reason for our fight. Why did we fight? The last thing I needed in my life was for me to have a fight with somebody, and when they asked me why we fought, is for me to tell them that the fight was behind gloves. I did not need that. What I look like, what I sound like. We got into a big-ass fight and lost our jobs over gloves. Nah, that was not going to be my story, partner. That was not going to be my story. And guess what? I told him, I'm like, yo, bro, I'm not about to fight you over gloves, bro, for real. I'm not. And he's like, I'm like, yo, bro, look, let's both keep our jobs. We're not going to fight over gloves. And then he just turned around and walked away. He called me a bitch. I'm like, I don't care. If you want to find out, put your hands on me. But if you're not putting your hands on me, I'm not going to throw the first punch, especially over no damn gloves. But now, mind you, every bit of my instincts, every bit of my nurture told me that I needed to fight in that situation because he was in my face and he was calling me out. He called my hands, all this other stuff. But I'm like, no. That's not a legitimate reason to fight. Gloves? Gloves? Are you serious? Gloves? No. That's not the reason. Only reason why I should put my hands on anybody is if I'm protecting myself or I'm protecting somebody else. There's no other reason why I need to put my hands on anybody. For what? Clout? I'm not going to put my hands on nobody for clout. Street cred? What the fuck is street cred? Is street cred gonna pay my bills? Is it gonna put food in my stomach? No. It's just gonna make these people over here praise me for being a crash dummy. I used to be a crash dummy for a large portion of my life. It didn't take much to get me to start fighting. It didn't take much to get me to lose my damn mind and do something stupid. It didn't. And one day I'm like, yo, I need to stop being a crash dummy, bro. Because if I keep being a crash dummy, then everybody and their mother is going to know exactly what they need to do in order to get a rise out of me. There was one time, I was talking to this gentleman, right? And I was upset, and I was like, nah, man, because, like, they just keep pushing buttons, man. They keep pushing buttons until they find the right one. And the man looked at me, and he goes, are you an elevator? I'm like, huh? He's like, are you an elevator? I'm like, why are you asking me if I'm an elevator? He goes, last I checked, elevators have buttons. Why do you have buttons? Why do you have buttons? You talk about people are pushing your buttons. Why do you have them? You're not an elevator. You're not a TV remote. You're not a PlayStation controller. You're not a keyboard. Why do you have buttons? You shouldn't have buttons. You're a person. Nobody should ever have the ability to trigger you. They do. They do because of how we've all been conditioned from the moment of our birth up until now. But the truth of the matter is we have the power inside of us to decide what we do. Here's another quote. See, I quote the Bible differently than other people do. People quote the Bible to justify being assholes. I quote the Bible to stir up wisdom because there's a lot of wisdom in it. So everybody remembers the story of Cain and Abel. Cain killed, in a spurt of jealousy and anger, killed his twin brother Abel. And now he's having a conversation with God, right? But before that happened, if you know the story, both Cain and Abel brought their sacrifices to God. God accepted Abel's, but not Cain's. And Cain was dejected. Well, how did God respond to that? God is like, yo, why are you downcast? Why are you feeling like that, man? What's going on? He's like, understand, if you do the right thing, good things will come your way. But if you do what's wrong, sin is going to crouch at the door. All sin means, for those who don't know, the literal translation of the word sin means to miss your target, right? That's what it means. It means you took your shot and you missed. It means to miss your target. That's what sin means. He goes, sin crouches behind a door, but you have the power to overcome it. That was literally, because me, I look at a lot of that stuff as allegorical. Kind of like the story of the little boy who cried wolf. That didn't actually happen. There was not a little boy who got eaten by a wolf because he was a liar. It was a story with a message. It was a story with a lesson. And that's how I read scripture. There's a lot of wisdom in there if you read it as if you're reading the little boy who cried wolf. So the story is, you're always going to feel different kinds of way. And it's going to make you want to do the wrong thing. But right there, in black and white, in the Bible, it says, but you have the power to overcome it. And that's something we're not taught. Nobody teaches us that. People try to tell us, try to make us believe that all these things happen automatically. Let me explain something to you guys, and I'm going to explain this to you right now. You want to live the best life possible? You want to accomplish what you set your mind to? Stop going on autopilot. Stop going on autopilot. Because if you go on autopilot, you're only going to do the things that you've been programmed to do by the world around you, by social media, by TV, by the internet, by your family members, and by your own subconscious mind. Don't go on autopilot. Everything you do, do it on purpose. Not automatically, do it on purpose. Choose. Don't let the choice be made for you. Actually choose. And I promise you, your experience in life will be completely different. Things would happen differently. Think about it like this. Where a lot of these games, we're on Twitch. We all play games here. When you have the game simulate something for you because you just don't want to do it, yeah, you get some rewards out of it. But haven't you realized you get a lot more rewards and a lot more XP if you actually play the level instead of simulate it? You actually get a lot more out of it. It's the same thing with your life. You can go on autopilot and deal with the consequences that come before you and feel like you got no choice but just to go with the flow because that's just, it is what it is. We love saying that. It is what it is. Well, it doesn't have to be. It can be what you make it if you choose to put into work to make it. But the thing is, if you choose to make something happen, expect to work harder. Expect to have to go against something. Because that's the only way to make things happen. You gotta put in work. You gotta sweat. You gotta struggle a little bit. But what means more? Struggling a little bit and making something happen? Or just being on autopilot and just letting things be as they come? There's a certain sense of power that comes with taking control over your own life. And we all can. We are all capable of taking control over our own lives. And that's what I'm here to tell you today. We have the power to take control of our lives. But here's the thing. When that happens, we are susceptible to the consequences of knowing and not knowing. Okay? Life does not care if you knew or didn't know. Life is just going to read what you gave, what you did, why, and how. And then it's going to throw the product at you. Life doesn't care about any of our excuses. Not mine, not yours, not the president's, not royalty. Doesn't matter what you're born into. Life doesn't care. It doesn't care about any of our excuses. All it cares about is its job. This was given to me by this individual. Let me multiply it. Let me complete this equation and then give it right back to them. That's what life does. Because that's the function of life. So if we're going to take control over our own lives, instead of being stuck on autopilot and just dealing with whatever comes, we have to study. We have to learn. We have to read. Because not all this information is going to be in a video. It's probably going to be in a book. You're going to have to read. I read often. Not as often as I used to. But whenever there's a topic I want to know more of, I read. I'm not going to sit here and just watch videos. I'm going to read. And after I read, I'm going to look at all the resources. And I'm going to read that. And then I'm going to look at cross-references. I'm going to look at what supports this, what goes against it. And I'm going to do what any professional investigator does. And I'm going to connect the dots in order to try to discern as best as I can what all this means and where the truth actually lies. And I'm also not afraid to ask questions. There's so many people out there, man. And I thank them, God bless their souls, for not turning me away or getting annoyed with me. I riddle them with questions. Because if I don't know something, I gotta ask, right? So, the thing is, remember what I said last podcast? How do we know what we don't know? We don't until we come across information. So I look for information. I come across information. I go, oh, I don't understand what this is. What is this? I've never heard of this before. Hey, you guys ever heard of this? Okay, what goes into it? What what does it mean? And then I go from there and I learn. There's a reason why we have two ears and only one mouth. Mouth is for eating. The mouth is for feeding you, actually. It's for feeding you and for feeding, just ingesting, right? So, if I want to feed myself with information, sometimes I gotta ask for that information. So that means I have to pay attention to what's going on in my life and, just tell people, like, yo, I might have done something wrong. Is there a bit of information that I don't know about what I was trying to do? You know what I'm saying? And more often than not, you'll find somebody who has the information you're looking for, or you'll find a book, because that's how life works. Needless to say, anger is a part of all of our lives. It's always going to be a part of all of our lives. It's powerful. It's a very strong, very powerful emotion. And it's going to have its effects. We, as individuals, and even collectively, have to find a way to navigate that and utilize it for something different other than exploding, other than being destructive. We have to find a way to be constructive with it. Your anger can teach you a lot about yourself. You get angry about something, you can learn about yourself from observing that anger. Is like, okay, what set me off? What? Oh, shit. Okay, so I don't like this. Oh, so that does make me feel this way. Oh, so I am capable of feeling that. Oh, I'm capable of caring. I never knew that before. Anger does that. We just have to be very mindful and very present so as to not misuse our anger to our detriment or to the detriment of others. People are in our lives. People are affected by our lives. Before I go, I want to let you guys understand one thing. We're all connected in some way, shape, or form. So that means whatever benefits me is going to benefit you. Whatever benefits you is going to benefit me. And that could be a good benefit or a bad benefit. It could be a reward or a consequence. Punishment, sorry. Because consequence is reward or punishment. That's what consequence is. A lot of people associate consequence with something bad. No, consequence just means the result of something is either a reward or a punishment, a gain or a loss. That's still a consequence. It just means a result. But yeah, it affects everybody. We should strive to better ourselves, but we also need to understand that we're not the only beings in existence in this world. There are other beings that feel what we feel, that think what we think, go through what we go through just like we are. We are not singled out by the universe. The universe does not revolve around us. The universe moves through us, but it doesn't revolve around us. It responds. Big difference. So, that being said, and I'm probably gonna do another podcast at some point to just add on to this discussion on anger. But what I'm trying to see who to rate, sorry. But pretty much where I'm gonna go with this is we have to work as hard as we can to push forward, to understand ourselves, to love ourselves and love those around us, and try to better observe our emotions and try to better understand them. Because it is through understanding our emotions that we are able to overcome our emotions and be who we were meant to be in this world. Always my people, my kings, my queens, everything in between. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you guys. It's always a pleasure to spend time with you guys, to chat with you guys, and I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to do this podcast, to come here and like talk y'all's heads off, and for bearing with me, man. And you know, I learn from you guys every time I do this, every time I stream. Like, you guys add so much to what I'm learning, add so much to my positive outlook in life, because the fact that you guys exist tells me that there is still hope for this world, because people like you guys exist. Don't ever let anybody define you, because you've already been defined beforehand, before you met that person. You've already been defined. And if you don't know what that definition is, look inside yourself and find it. Don't ever let nobody else tell you who you are. And if somebody's telling you who you are, you need to look inside of yourself and confirm that. Because if that's not who you want to be, you got to figure out what you got to do in order to change that. Oh my God, they're throwing me through 10 ads before I can raid this person. This is insanity. But every single one of you guys are special to me, because if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have been able to find the confidence in this world for the betterment of this world. I wouldn't have been able to find the confidence in myself to be able to make myself better. I wouldn't have been able to believe that it were possible for me to experience good things anymore in my life. But you guys have shown me that it is still possible for somebody who's made as many mistakes as I have, for somebody who has messed up as many times as I have, to still be able to live their life and make something of themselves, make someone of themselves. And I promise you, I'm only a streamer because of you guys. If it wasn't for y'all, there'll be no purpose for me streaming. At that point, what am I doing? But it's you guys who make my streams what they are. It's you guys who make me, to a point, who I am. Because I've decided who I wanted to be. And you guys have reinforced that decision every step of the way. I have been streaming for 2 years now, on and off. And I always enjoy every time I jump on here on Twitch and I stream, because it's so liberating to be able to just open myself up to a point and be received by you guys, be accepted by you guys. And I'm like, yo, you know what? I can do this. I can keep going forward. And I feel like that is the purpose of streaming, is to let other people know you have a purpose. You can do this. You can make this happen. This is not in vain. You're not chasing the wind. You're going somewhere. You're becoming somebody. You are somebody. And man, that goes a long way in this world. That goes a long way in this life. You don't know what anybody is going through. And you have no idea how maybe you saying something good in the moment in which you said it could have turned someone's thoughts around. That person could have been on the verge of completely giving up. And then they heard you say what you said. They saw you do what you did. They experienced you because you were in that light. And it gave them hope. The same way people have given me hope. So, with that being said, guys, I'm going to have another podcast next week. I'm going to try to do some regular streams in between each podcast. Come Monday, I'm going to inform you guys what the next topic is going to be. If any of you guys have any suggestions, please feel free to reach out to me on Discord if you have my number on my number. And like I said, please feel free to follow my like page on Facebook. It is Chris Kylar, and then quotation unbroken. I'm going to be sharing a lot of content with wrestling, my podcast, different motivational videos, different things like that. I'm looking to do something. If you complain so much about this world, do something about it. And that's where I'm taking myself to. I know I cannot change the world, but I can put the energy out there. And that's all I aim to do. Until next time, guys, I love you all. Let's go ahead and get this raid started. Alright, Ninjala. The person that I'm sending you guys to now is also very positive, very influential. I met this person on Discord. They themselves possess such a light, and I think this is my first time rating them. This is gonna be fun. They are incredible. Feel free to say hello, drop some emotes, show some support, give them a follow. Until next time, guys, I love you guys. Always remember, whenever you feel lost, look inside and you shall be found. You matter. We are unbroken. This is... Oh, I can't raid this person. Okay. So let's see who else I can raid. We shall raid Malik. Don't send me to an ad. Okay. There we go. As I was saying, we matter. We are unbroken. This is Shattered Sanity. And we are Catharsis. If you're ever going through a tough time, you need somebody to talk to, you want somebody to hear you out, I am always ready, willing, and able to listen to you. I would rather listen to your story, listen to your problems, and listen to your troubles than hear that your funeral is in a few days. Until next time, I love you guys.